Welcome ladies and gentlemen, my name's Dychronic, yours here on this Destiny 2 video, and today we're going to be taking a look at my review of the Duality exotic shotgun. So this video is going to be going over everything that I do know about this weapon, including DPS calculations for the special perks, for the catalyst, for the different types of varieties, as well as its efficacy in both PvP and PvE. If you've never heard of the weapon before, it drops in the current season pass at level 35 on the free track and at level 1 for the premium track. So literally everybody can get their hands on this weapon as long as you play during the season of the hunt. It's a 65 RPM exotic slug and pellet shotgun. With its special perk, it has options for both of them. It is a solar energy damage shotgun with an infinite sunset. Now, its perks are probably one of the more interesting and well-purposed perks for this particular type of gun in the game. Its first perk, Compression Chamber, allows you to fire a slug when aiming down sights, and of course, while hip firing gives you that pellets, which gives it a pretty significant versatility on handling whatever you're handling in front of you. The second perk, Corkscrew Rifling, gives you range, stability, and handling, which is pretty good to have different coverage. Third perk, Alloy Magazine, reloading faster when the mag is empty, which is usually when you're reloading, and of course it reloads all the shots in one instead of one at a time. And the fourth perk, the one that a lot of people have been talking about, On Black Wings, Pellet Final Blows grant a stacking, precision damage, and reload speed buff, and then precision hits with slugs extend the duration. I'll be talking more about the specific numbers about this particular perk, but this allows you to get some extra damage whenever you're trying to focus on a certain major or boss. And the final perk is going to be Short Action Stock, giving you 15 more handling, and handling is going to be one of the most important things you can have for shotguns and a lot of close range weapons, which allows you to switch to and from the weapon faster, aim down sights faster, mid-air accuracy, all different kinds of things that are very important for slug shotguns. And finally, it does also have a catalyst, which you can complete pretty much right away from the gunsmith, just completing a bunch of different objectives, getting a bunch of different kills, and eventually it'll give you a range increase, which in the Crucible will increase the one-shot headshot range from around 10 meters to 11 meters, and it also increases the magazine from 6 to 8. The first half being better for Crucible, the second half being better for PvE. And just as a summary of the weapon before we get into the nitty-gritty details, I like to describe this weapon as a versatile shotgun with both close-range pellets and a longer-range slug option, while also having a faster overall reload with its all-in-one reload action, plus its inherent exotic level stats. So it's a great energy alternative to the Chaperone if you want a kinetic primary. However, its special damage perk is unlikely to change much overall and often takes more effort than it's worth, which is something I'm kind of disappointed in. For my damage testing, it just doesn't feel worth it. Just as a quick mention in the middle of the video, if you have not yet purchased Beyond Light, the Season Pass, even Forsaken or Shadowkeep, the Legendary Edition that's currently 15% off, I would highly recommend you do it on my Nexus page. On Nexus, more of the money goes towards Bungie and me, the content creator, while also avoiding a lot of the gray market vendors. And for the exact same price that is on Steam, while also still getting a Steam code, buy it on Nexus, link in the description down below. Moving on, let's talk about this weapon in PvE. First up, I wanted to talk about the DPS calculations that I made for it. Now, there's a lot to talk about when it comes to this weapon in PvE. First of all, if you did not know, the On Black Wings perks gives around a 12% precision damage bonus per stack in PvE at a maximum of 7 stacks. And reloading in any way terminates these stacks. Regular reloads, faster reloads, dodge reloads, sympathetic arsenal reloads. All of these terminates the stacks and you have to start over. Now, I did not test every single type of reload. I didn't test inertial override, transversive steps. These things may still be possible, but it most likely shouldn't be. And these stacks normally last around 5 seconds since the last hip fire kill or precision hit with slug rounds. When it comes to a direct comparison of a similar type of weapon, for example the First and Last Out, which is also an energy 65 RPM slug shotgun, the Duality beats it in almost every way. Not only does it have a higher impact stat just right off the bat, you can see on the weapons it just does more damage at the same RPM, because I guess because it's an exotic. It also has a much faster reload time because it reloads all of the shots in one go in around half the time it takes the First and Last Out to reload all of the shots. Which is again why I always recommend auto-loading, because reloading for 4 seconds is just so much worse than not reloading at all and having it done in 2 seconds. When you want to make the DPS of the Duality even better, you're going to want to increase the reload speed. If you max out the reload speed from 11 out of 100 to 100 out of 100, you can get the reload speed to less than half at 1.1 seconds. And with that, if you also get the catalyst, which not only increases the clip size, does not affect the reload speed at all, meaning you're reloading more shots with the exact same number of times. Both of those will increase the DPS pretty considerably. And finally, the question that a lot of you guys want answered today is getting the On Black Wings perk of times 1, 2, 3, or even 7 worth the time investment, worth the ammo, and worth the loss of damage that you could be dealing to a boss. And in my calculations, as a blanket statement, I would say no. You lose out in total ammo damage and DPS if you consider the amount of time it takes to get those hipfire kills. However, sometimes you're going to be getting those hipfire kills anyways, which allows you to get an extra damage bonus, so the perk is not useless. While using it just randomly shooting at enemies, you're getting bonuses, which is really useful and can actually be the difference of getting a kill or not getting a kill. But when it comes to dealing just direct boss damage, don't worry about it. Just shoot at the boss. Don't make it complicated. Next up, I wanted to talk about the feeling of this weapon as far as the stats go and how it compares to the first and last out. Overall, I'd like to say it has really good handling, good stability, good range, good clip size, good RPM, okay short zoom sights, and a well selected and interesting set of perks. In PvE, it feels like an exotic alternative to the first and last out with much faster overall reloading and a different option for damage increase instead of vorpal weapon. So overall, I'd like to say it's a pretty good option for PvE, however, it's not good enough to make me want to use it in end level activities because of its short range and much worse DPS than a sword, because in the end, when it comes to boss damage, DPS with a sword is almost twice as good as with the best shotguns. And as such, shotguns have been relegated to shooting at majors. If you need to get majors killed and you don't really want to go in there with a sword, using shotguns is the next best option. When it comes to pairing, honestly go with your favorite ranged option. Hand cannons, autos, pulse rifles, and scout rifles work well. Up next, I wanted to talk about this weapon in PvP. This section won't be as long as the PvE section, but considering that it is very similar to the Chaperone, it does have a lot of efficacy in PvP as well. As a direct comparison, it has more range and overall better stats in almost every category than the first and last out, however it does have less range than that of the Chaperone. And when it comes to the feeling of this weapon, I like to say that it has good handling, good stability, good range, good clip size, par RPM, good short zoom sights, useful perks, and generally good target acquisition that you love from other slug shotguns. Overall, it has great stats as compared to the legendary options. It feels like a good energy alternative to the Chaperone, just not as good as the Chaperone. But sometimes you really want to use a kinetic primary, and this allows you to do that if you want that slug shotgun. When it comes to pairing a weapon with this weapon, ranged options like hand cannons, autos, pulse, and even scout rifles do pretty well. When it comes to mod pairing, I honestly would highly recommend targeting, especially with slug shotguns. Getting that good targeting is really nice. Reload speed is also a little bit of an issue considering it's very slow, and maybe even unflinching because getting a shot out of a precision shot is not the most convenient thing. And that is going to be pretty much the end of the video. Obviously, I did take some time on that PvE section. I did do a lot of math and kind of got really confused for quite some time, but I didn't cover everything that I possibly could. You know, I didn't talk about all the different charge with light mods you can do for near infinite ammo on your shotguns. I didn't talk about you can get ability energy with shotguns. There's a whole bunch of different things you can do in a whole bunch of different ways that I can't really cover in this video without making it 30 minutes. But hopefully you did enjoy, and hopefully I didn't miss something major. If I did, let me know in the comments down below. I'd love to figure out how better to use this weapon. But yeah, that's going to be the end of it. I hope you guys did enjoy. My name is Dychronic, and I'll see you guys on the next one.